Go ahead.
I'd like to call this Central School Board meeting to order, month of August 12th, 2024, with all board members present. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move on to the board approval of the agenda. Is there any changes, board members?
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Lurkey, second by Smith. Any other conversations? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Agenda is approved. Moving on to the consent agenda. Mr. Schochner, is there anything you want to highlight with that?
No, just that we have some new teachers. These were hires that were already accounted for. We have a couple of open positions for special education due to some of our special education numbers, but nothing that I want to highlight specifically.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Yeah.
Was the, is this resignation, I remember she was a librarian, was she also a para towards the end?
Are we talking
Miss
Miss Messer? That resignation came in on Friday.
What was her position?
She was a paraprofessional.
Because that she
Yep.
was a librarian when I was.
Yep, she's a paraprofessional. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll move to approve the consent agenda as proposed.
Second.
Motion by Isham, second by Trails. Any other conversations? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Nothing on the acceptance of gifts.
Mm-mm.
I think we're safe on the public forum unless
Yep.
Mr. Larson has something he really wants to say.
Nope, I just needed my business and I just got that too.
Anything from the student side?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I do want to say that our student rep, I just sent Mr. Larson an email today. At our back to school or our class meetings, we'll put out to any junior that wants to run or put their application in for student representative, that I would collect those, the first, second week of school. Then we'll interview them, make a selection, and then they would be here in October.
Will we be able to recognize Jackson?
Yep. And so I'll work with Jackson to get him here. He'll get one of those plaques and we'll thank him for his service.
All right. You want to just move right into the superintendent?
Yep, I can. Happy August, everyone. Thank you for everyone for attending the ribbon cutting today. That was good to see some citizens there as well. And I just want to publicly thank all of our former board members, Nicole Levinsky, Elroy Lotzig, and Rich Shug, that were on the board when we passed the bond, for them coming and saying a few words and being part of the tour. I think the thing on everyone's mind, given what happened last summer, is what's the status of the construction. And I am pleased to announce that we are just about to cross the finish line. So this week they're padding out or putting all the ceiling tiles in. The lockers in the high school just got painted today. The lockers in the middle school are painted. There's a couple of odds and ends that need to happen. And then Thursday, our cleaning crew will come in, and then our crew will start unpacking the Connex boxes and putting all of the teachers' personal things into their classrooms and placing them there. The flooring in the middle school commons area, the locker bay, that will be done on Saturday and Sunday. Unlike last year when they've been saying they're coming Saturday and Sunday, they show up Saturday and Sunday. It's great. It's fantastic. In the auditorium, our new Monkey Wrench, which is a company, they were here. They put in a new projector system. A new screen was put in. Our ADA accessible ramp is in there and carpeted. The railing is up and everything. That will happen. The painters have started putting a new coat of paint in the auditorium, and then you'll see some on the I think it's called the fascia of like the balcony. That part that you see. You can see three like electrical boxes. There'll be some screens that could put up there. So what's being either presented behind you, like say on a PowerPoint, you'd be able to see almost like Josh just said, I brought him in there. He's like, it's almost like you're on the news. Yeah. So you can see like a teleprompter up here to what's behind you, or, like when giving a performance, there can be, notes from the director that the crowd can't see, but if you're on stage, you can see. And then the stage will be painted black, which is a typical finish for a performance stage. Once the crane, I don't know if you saw it, but the crane is on back, getting the last part of our roofing materials up there. Once that demobilizes, then all of the civil work, which is all the grass seed, the second and last lift of asphalt in the back by the plaza, that will all get done. Then the fencing will start going up. And the fencing, I think, is slated to be done before it is slated to be done before our first football game on August 27th, I think, is when it's supposed to be done. I think the football game's after that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it just feels a lot different than last summer. Honestly, a lot less stressful. Air conditioning got turned on in the elementary school this week, so they're excited about that. We had one bad week, like 3 weeks ago. It was pretty bad. It was pretty toasty down there, but things are going really good. So, and afterwards, if you want, we can walk down. I actually recommend after the meeting walking down and just looking at the lockers. And I know it's a little thing, but it just changes the whole feeling of that common space. I mean, I'm looking at you, Shelby. Like, yeah, I was gonna say it. He's like, I've been here 25 years, and these things have always been blue, and it just never made sense. And it just, I think our kids will be excited when they walk in and see that. I really do. And it's just as simple as a locker color change. It just feels centrally. So it's good.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the open houses that we're going to have?
Yep. So Stifton's Fest is coming up in 2 weeks. And so the Saturday of Stifton's Fest, in the morning, I'm roughing the kickball game. And then and then after that, and I don't know if it's going to be at 12. I need to get the schedule for Mike Herman yet. But either at 12:30 or 1 o'clock, I'll be doing community tours of the entire building. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how many there will be. And then Sunday, Mr. Larson is going to do tours at 3:30 after he is done performing up at Stifton's Fest. So we'll see, giving the community a couple opportunities. And so we'll start, I've talked to Kyle, and we'll start posting those on Facebook like next week to kind of put that out there. And then I'll be working with the city to put that out wherever they need to. And I'll get it. Would you be the point of contact for Stifton's Fest committee? That if I gave you some dates and times that you could just like start throwing on your Facebook page or something, could you get that to the right person?
The person that does the Facebook I can connect you with her.
Yeah.
Or John.
Okay. Yeah. If you can just connect me with whoever it is, and then I'll have Kyle make a little kind of like one of those little banners, like save the date or whatever. And then you guys can just share it, or when we put it out, just have Stifton's Fest share our page, whichever works. But we're just going to kind of get word out that way. Thank you.
Thanks. Any further questions? Move on to board reports. Nothing from board?
Just from the finance committee, the ladies are working hard with year-end audit review and stuff like that. It's the first month of the new fiscal year. There really isn't much to report, so they're going to report 2 months worth next month.
Can I say one thing? And I've said this to various board members just kind of in passing. And again, it's not done until it's done. But I'm going to say this, and hopefully I don't jinx myself. But as of today, we have 71 new students starting at Central, and that's a net gain of 39 as of today. But 71 new names on the rolls. And then we had obviously some students that have left us, but and it's all over the place in terms of grade levels. But a lot of high school had a lot of new incoming ninth graders. So but we're feeling very, very optimistic about that. We hope that trend continues. So
That's awesome.
it is.
Anything else from board members?
Community development, to mention Sturgeon's Fest coming up, I just wanna probably give a shout out at the next meeting too, but just the amount of help that the students get during that time with setup and takedown, it's incredible what they do, so, just wanted to get a heads up on that coming up towards the end of the month.
Thank you. All right, we'll move into discussion of this.
Discussion items, D1, first reading of policies.
There are a lot of policies there. Please don't go through every single one of them. But this is so every August-ish, July, August, I get a list from MSBA of anything that has had statutory changes in them. So these are everything that's had any sort of statutory change. And I'm just going to point out one, which is 524, which says the required. That's the acceptable use and cell phone policy. There is a requirement by the state of Minnesota to have a cell phone policy by the end of 2025, and we are going to have one here in the handbook change for you tonight. That we would have our policy mirror the language out of our handbook as we discuss it, if there is any discussion. But that is all of these are just legal requirements, and they're redlined in there. So I'll work with the board committee and we'll bring those back to you next month.
Any questions from board members on any of those? I went through a lot of them, and it's just statutory number changes.
Yep, but we got to do them every year. Yep.
All right.
E, operational items, or organizational meeting, D1.
So this is if you recall, last month we started having the dialogue specifically about board pay, and the agreement was, if you want, you can you can come in. Hence the name of the fishbowl. If you thank you, Josh. We had a conversation. We started a conversation about board compensation. The board decided to approve the whole organizational piece except for the compensation. And then I was tasked to get some information around board pay. So I've attached in board book, and it's really small, but and you can zoom in if you want to. But this is every single board pay that MSBA, Minnesota School Boards Association, has any data on. So this is everything. So zoom in and take a peek at it if you'd like. But I am going to kindly just step away from the conversation because I think it's your conversation to have.
Okay, floor is open.
All right, since I'm the one that kind of brought up the discussion, probably just wanted to share that, kind of restate that the motivation was last month was due to the budget cuts. And we looked at revising our pay, but then looking at this, and you guys probably got the emails throughout the past couple of weeks on enrollment data. The motivation was this is just kind of maybe how motivated to re-look at how our enrollment has been trending, and as one of the attachments we got over since the last meeting was kind of the trending of the central enrollment and the capture rate. That's maybe, I don't know if that's just a metric maybe we could keep an eye out on an annual basis on something, but just I don't know if there's just like a performance or incentive type metric or something like that. That was kind of the main motivation of wanting to elaborate more on that topic, but maybe this isn't the way to do it. But that was kind of the main motivation of bringing it up last month. So like the one attachment thing. So for those of you that don't know, the capture rate is the amount of students that live in the district that attend the school district. And as you can see, from 2015 to 2016, it was at 66%, but now it's down to, as of currently, it's down to 60%. And central enrollment has K through 12 enrollment was at 989 back then, 915. And I think I confirmed with Tim prior to that, it was above 1,000 at one point. So I don't know, that was just one kind of main motivation on why to maybe see what we can look at to maybe help. And as a former board member mentioned at the field house opening, just find what kind of type of strategy to do in order to fill this building. Is kind of what the board member stated. So, but like I said, I don't know what your thoughts are, but maybe this isn't the route to do it. So
I'm confused. How are you correlate, like, are
I'm
you
just saying- I'm
suggesting
just-
we correlate the,
performance, I guess you could say, if we had to make cuts, maybe we should be treating ourselves, be adjusting our budget too, in order to kind of
okay,
fill.
you went off on,
It was kind of yeah, right, I kind of went.
I was on two different.
No, I did, so, but I'm kind of pedal back on what I mentioned last month, but kind of also put emphasis on the reason why we made cuts is kind of based off of the declining enrollment, but maybe instead of focusing on that area, maybe put more emphasis on what we can do to strategize, whether it's the new field house or our construction, just making it long-term planning on how to maybe improve our enrollment and improve the capture rate, because some research doing surrounding districts, this is 60% is quite low compared to surrounding districts, but that was the kind of main motivation.
I have one question on that. Is that low when you have a charter school in your district? Or is that,
I would have to get that. You're looking at me, so I'm assuming you're asking me. I think
I feel
I would have
we
to do-
talked about that before.
Yep. So if you look at, let's just look at the surrounding districts. Waconia doesn't have a charter school. Belle Plaine, Sibley East, Lester Prairie, Eastern Cover County, or Glencoe none of them have charter schools in the district. And I would say that that specific charter school pulls from all of them. And if you were going to compare us to, let's just say Belle Plaine, I mean, you and I have had conversation about Belle Plaine, like we're 15% lower than Belle Plaine, and one of the reasons would be what I just stated.
I think
So
like Watertown, for example, is that they
Oh.
the charter school,
Mhm.
I think they're in the 70s or something
Yep.
like that. But yeah, no, that was kind of
Mhm.
if there's a way that maybe somehow we could maybe use the capture rate as maybe a metric to keep an eye on an annual basis or something. But
It's on our
It's on our
vision
report
card.
it is.
It's on our
Okay.
vision card.
So
We
that's the
review it
thing.
every
When-
October, I believe.
And like you mentioned with the charter school, it's when people don't understand that, but then it's advertised that we're on the bottom when they use marketing
Mhm.
pieces. It's just, but as we all understand, we got a charter school.
And I also think that there's quite a high number of, this is my impression, I don't know the other communities, so I'd have to look at that, but the parochial school numbers with Emmanuel, with St. John's, with Zion, that's all competing too for our district as well. And those are pretty sizable parochial elementary schools that I think most places.
Don't have that many, like, there's 4 elementary schools in addition to ours.
Right.
It's just a lot.
I don't know, yeah, just like I mentioned,
It's all stuff to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
enrollment, it's been declined, but I don't know if that's any way that we strategize on looking at that. But with that being said, unless anyone else has thoughts on this specific organizational meeting topic, I don't have anything special.
And I just have apprehension knowing that many faces could look different come January.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just kind of feel like everyone's maybe not gonna sit, so like just leave as is and kind of go till then. That's where my gut was at with it, to see how the new board comes in and what they're thinking and.
I make a motion to keep board member pay at $65 a meeting.
Second. Motion by Smith, second by Eichens.
One thing I'll say from a discussion standpoint is, right, we've already approved the budget for 24-25 from a district standpoint. If we bring this back at the January with new board members, it should be effective for 25-26. Just wanted to state that.
Can I just, I'm keeping out of this, but I'm also gonna, I from a logistics standpoint, the office would, the district office would like a board, any board, this board, the new board, whatever, to consider like a twice a year, like a bi-yearly payment rather than just monthly, just from a logistics standpoint. So just like-
Could we just give it to you?
you could, I'm just, if whatever, so for example, the pay doesn't have to change, but let's just say the new board comes on in January, then we like add up the pay for January, February, March, April, May, June, and then on June 30th, you get one payment. Like it just,
Logistically.
I am just,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
and that's just a logistic thing. That's all I'm gonna, I don't care what you set your pay at. I just, you know.
Do you want to include that in the motion, or is that?
No, this
No,
is part of
that's something we
discussion.
decide
So
and-
somebody brought up discussion and I was just, that's all if we're tabling it until January, I will bring it up again in January. I just don't want to surprise anyone. I just, okay. There's a motion and second on the table.
Other conversations? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Board organizational compensation is established. And
E2, consideration of school board and department handbooks.
Okay, so a lot of stuff. So what I tried to do here is have the principals and directors do like an executive summary for you to show what the proposed changes are. So I'm going to start at the secondary school. So what I guess how I'd like this to go is I'm just going to highlight the changes. We can discuss, and then we can do the elementary school, and then we can do community ed, and there aren't any changes in activities, and then just wrap it all into one, minus any changes that you may have. So Mr. Larson is updating the Chromebook misuse policy, so that way with the lost charger and what is covered and what isn't covered, we are seeing an uptick in what we believe to be an intentional abuse for some Chromebooks. So we are trying to curb that. I had talked to you about cell phone policy. This is required by the end of 2025 for all school districts. And basically this is the same policy. What we are putting in place is the same policy or procedure for that we had in years past. So basically during academic time, phones and earbuds are not allowed. They are allowed during passing time and lunchtime for 6th through 12th grade students. Phones are not allowed we can have phones in backpacks, but phones are not allowed for elementary pre-K through elementary students. But they can have them on their, in their backpack or whatever, but there's not a need to have them out at the elementary school. So that is where our cell phone policy is. And does anyone have any questions or reservations about that? I didn't think you would. It's exactly the same of what we have been doing.
When mom texts kid during the day, does mom get in trouble too?
She should, Sarah. It depends what the text is. It depends. No, well, it depends if the kid. Well, but honestly, okay. So we're saying that tongue in cheek. But if there is something like, I would say to families, like, don't expect an immediate response. But at passing time, when she takes it out and looks at it, oh, mom needs to know this. Where's the remote control for the TV at home? And then you can, and then she can text you back, right? Important stuff. Just kidding. Our fees for our grade level fees are updated. Basically, this is for graduation expenses. So that's, just know that we've had a class fee. We are updating a maximum attendance policy. We were trying to make this more clear. We had some questions about that this year, and so we are trying to make this crystal clear. Technology, using personal school issued device to record a student, regardless of intent. So basically, where this comes from, we are updating this to kind of dialogue about, if we don't have this pretty much at all. But if, like, let's just say there was a fight in the bathroom, and you had 7 kids standing around the altercation, recording it, and then uploading it on Snapchat, like we would treat those video recorders in much more harshly. I mean, they would be subject to suspension because we cannot move as fast as what they can on social media. So we are trying to hold a line that the name, image, likeness of kids when they come in here, you're like, you don't record people in the bathroom, you don't record people in the locker room, we don't record each other and put it up on social media unless there's a positive intent. Like, I mean, recording them in a basketball match is different than recording them in some sort of altercation. I'm maybe not doing a good job of explaining this, but does that make sense? We don't have a ton of it, but we have, I mean, Rich has come to me stressed a couple times about just getting in front of some social media stuff, and that can be difficult. We've changed some registration pieces about retaking failed classes, specifically around math. We basically said our previous language was they couldn't take 2 courses of mathematics at the same time, but we are going to allow kids to take mathematics at the same time. So that way, we feel like that's a good thing for kids in terms of being able to keep up if they happen to fail a class. Let's see here. Or actually, let me take that back. So we did require them to take 2. We are not going to allow, I need to back up. We are not going to allow them. We've designed a piece to allow them to take it in person, because what we would do is we would push them to like a summer school or a credit recovery, which our data shows that it's just not as effective as in person with the teacher. So, excuse me, I misspoke on that one. Those are our changes for secondary. Is there anything that you would like to discuss? Okay, hearing none, I am going to go on to elementary. Let me find the attachment here. School department.
Close.
That's what I have to do.
Right
Where do you
next to
close it?
Scroll up a little bit, right next to the agenda item. Close.
Oh, look at that.
screen.
There it is. That's cool. Thank you. Preschool parent changes for preschool. Updated transportation section to reflect that there's no midday transportation. We haven't had midday transportation for 2 years now. And so we're just reflecting that. Our health policies are aligned with K-12. We had like a separate preschool. This is going to sound weird, but the nurse's office, like when I started here, there was like a divide between community ed and the elementary school, even though they were in the same building. Like our teachers were the ones calling home when someone is sick from preschool, but we have brought that all under one. The nurse is the nurse. Align grievance procedure with K-12, updated screening information to reflect the correct protocols. So just where many of this is updating what we actually do. SNAC guidelines to align with the K-12 program, updated tuition to reflect the increases that were put into place this year, and talked about absences. Very minimal changes. Oh, now I need to do this again here. Here. And elementary handbook changes. We've updated the procedures from a health, these aren't changes. The health procedures changes, we are just rewriting them out. So, here's a piece for health, and the health records and immunizations. Let's see here, elementary form. So, we are, we provide emergency care. I know that shouldn't have to be laid out, but we are. We are asking parents to complete the emergency form, which has an up-to-date emergency phone number. Believe it or not, oftentimes, even though we have people update stuff, sometimes numbers are out of service or aren't the right number because people are changing cell phone companies and things like that. They don't have a landline necessarily anymore. Just again, reiterating that a student cannot be at school if they've had a temperature over 100 or if they've had vomiting or diarrhea. Let's see here. A lot of this is just the same. It's just rewritten out because we have a new nurse and she wanted to be very clear. Let's see here. Okay, food service is just updating what the lunch prices are and when we contact them, trying to student account. So, and when we contact them for back, delinquent accounts, we don't have a ton of delinquent accounts anymore because we have free lunch, but a la carte can trigger a delinquent account. I'm scrolling down here. I don't know if you need me to read all these. So cell phone policies, like I said, are not going to be allowed, but can be kept in the bag at school. And students are discouraged from bringing valuable excessive property. I know we've had a few stolen items this past year at the elementary school where kids have kept something in their backpack and then an item goes missing. He's just going to be reiterating to our elementary families, hey, keep the stuff at home. And those are the changes. I don't mean to go through that so fast, but it's a lot of this is just updating our language to what our procedures actually are. And then Joe has submitted the activities handbook. He has no changes other than dates and coaches' names. There's no significant changes to the activities handbook.
Any comments from board members on all those handbooks? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve the handbooks as presented. Motion made by Isham, second by Erickson. Any other thoughts, comments? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Handbooks approved.
E3, consideration of Graterfield house use guidelines.
Sarah and Josh?
Yeah, it's, Josh, chime in if I missed something, but it's basically the recommendation of the Community Education Committee that we open up the field house to be available for use to all residents of Central Public School District. So that includes Cologne and Hamburg, as well as families that choose to open enroll at Central Public Schools. So if they live in Green Isle, but correct, Tim? Yeah. If they live in Green Isle, but they're sending their kids to Central, then they should be able to use the track and things as well. Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have it, the entire renovation wouldn't be done if it wasn't for all the taxpayers in the whole district.
Right. Yeah, we just want to make sure it's open for everyone and feels very friendly and.
So I think our initial communication, we probably fumbled a little bit in our communication of saying, hey, thank you to the city of NYA for their contributions to the project, and it's open to NYA residents. That was our initial communication. And like Sarah said, like the track part was the contribution from the city. We were all just out there. Everyone in this room was out there, saw the track. And the entire complex wouldn't have happened without votes from every single one of the cities. And people from Green Isle, I want those kids in the weight room. I want those kids to be able to shoot hoops and things like that. And like we said in the dedication or the opening today, like there's going to be some, like we need to see, there's going to be some nuances of things that we haven't even anticipated yet that we are going to either have to clarify, adjust, change. And I selfishly, now this is just me talking here, I want that sucker full. I want people there. I want in the morning, like I was saying, I want a coffee clutch where our citizens are drinking coffee up there, visiting, and then they walk around the track. We're really fortunate to have that space. And I do not want to put our supervisors, many of whom are high school age students, in a position where they are. I mean, you can just imagine how that would go, right? That's just not right. So that's the record. So we had a dialogue. This is supported by Sue Forrester. yeah, it's the recommendation from the
Yeah,
group.
the more the merrier, I think, an inclusive space for all of our families to enjoy.
And to be clear, it's for the field house, not the weight room.
Not the weight room.
That
Yep.
was my
So,
question.
so the weight room was never part of the agreement. So I was asked that directly in this tour today. Our insurance does not even allow that. Like I'm not saying never, but we have to explore what that would look like. Or like I've even talked to Sue, and again, I'm just hypothetically talking right now. Like maybe there is a time where we could sell some passes to that. Like, hey, you want to have weight room time, or maybe there's a class that we could run or something like that. But that space was never part of the dialogue ever. And I'm just telling you, I did contact our liability insurance agency, and they were like, heck to the heck no right now. I mean, actually anything's possible, but it costs money. And we're not talking like 2 cents. I mean, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars
But
annually.
This won't include that.
No.
wrestling room.
So the wrestling room is the multi-purpose room. I think you were the ones that asked me the question about it today. So let's say we have some pickleballers, and we have multiple groups that want to like shoot hoops or do whatever it is in the field house. But then we have a group of pickleballers that show up. And again, it's kind of first come, first serve. But why, Sue has already directed the people that are down there, like we can move people up to that multi-purpose room to hit around the pickleball, to allow some other people to be on the bigger courts that have hoops or have whatever. I mean, I think that's the type of thing I want the supervisors to navigate. Hey, how do we fit everyone in? Not how do we check. Yeah, how do we keep everyone out? Yeah, yes. And I think
But everything except
the wrestling room.
Yep.
Yep, the weight room is the only thing that, yes.
One thing about the field house is the scheduling,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Especially now that school's right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
First use for the sports teams, right?
Mhm.
Community ed,
Mhm.
right? And then whatever time's left over is for district residents,
Correct. Well,
right?
so
So I guess there needs to be some sort of schedule.
Mhm.
So community members can at least view what time is available for them to come in and use the track or shoot hoops or whatever.
So-
whatever they wanna do.
So like all of this, it has been, let's be real, it has been kind of dead in there. It's also summer, right? It has not been used a significant amount of time, but I imagine in the winter it's going to be,
Mhm.
because it's winter. So the track can be open anytime. Like even when our practice is happening, like people can be walking on the track, but there may not be an open gym time. But I agree with you. Some times do need to be established because there are going to be practices, there are going to be games, etc. in there. So Sue is already working with Joe to like how long do you need X time, X gym space before we can have some designated open gyms or other places, other things like that. But you're right. An open gym time, like I want to clarify, a basketball practice doesn't get pushed because of an open gym time.
Right, but residents may not know that, right?
I gotcha.
If they come on a Wednesday evening, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 7:00, right? School activities are done,
Yep.
but community ed has it for some pickleball or whatever.
Whatever.
Right? Residents don't know the
Yep.
schedule of what the field house or it's being used
That's
for.
fair.
So
That's fair.
something simple like putting a QR code on our window
Mm-hmm.
by the entrance that then takes you to some schedule
Mm-hmm.
for the field house. Just something simple like that, or go to a website of some
Mhm.
sort. Is I think would be very appreciative.
Okay.
For those that want to know when it's
Or
available.
At least if some of those things are happening and potentially the track is still walkable,
Mhm.
maybe someone would opt to not walk the
Mhm.
balls.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe it's still
Right.
is
I've heard that.
allowed, but like
Mhm.
maybe
Right.
they would skip it for that hour.
Mhm.
or,
Okay.
But yeah, some type of
Mm-hmm.
Just
I will get
something.
Sue on it.
Yeah. And I know things change, right? And, you know, some sports team might say, hey, we need extra practice on
Mhm.
an hour, right, someday. But as much as we can keep a schedule up to date is going to benefit the community members.
Yep. Fair.
I move to approve the recommendation from the Community Education Committee on the permitted use of the field house and multi-use room to district residents and families that open enroll to our school.
I'll second.
Motion by Smith, second by Lippy. Any other conversations? All right, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. E4.
E4, consideration of superintendent evaluation and goals. I would like to thank everybody for getting evaluation in and allowing me to get it, thanks.
That's all we wanted.
That's what they wanted to talk to you about.
Anyways, I would like to thank you for getting that evaluation submitted to me. I did kind of put everything together and it is posted in Workbook. Specifically, I just want to point out that superintendent is effectively and highly effectively meeting all of his goals at this time, and we'd like to recognize his commitment to the construction project. Now that that's nearing completion, we feel that he's worked tirelessly to ensure taxpayer levy dollars are being appropriately allocated, aligned with our goals, and in addition, we would like to recognize and commend him for being named Region 9 Administrator of Excellence by the Minnesota Association of School Administrators this past spring. We had a great conversation with superintendent in regards to goals and how we are going to look at that over the next year. And it was decided that the 4 goals that are listed there, which were all the themes that I had pulled from everyone's recommendations, is what we're going to use for focus and goals for the superintendent for the next year.
Thank you. I'll just say I'm thank you for getting this in a timely manner, and very excited to be at Central, and let's make it another good year.
And we'll work with you to put in more rubrics on those goals.
Yep.
and get those set up.
Mhm.
Questions, comments?
I'd like to move to approve the consideration of his evaluation and goals. Superintendent's evaluation goals.
Second.
Motion by Garrison, second by Smith. Any other conversations? All right, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, our next, oh boy. it's over here.
Oh, did I not put it? I'm sorry.
Will be, I have September 23rd on my calendar. Does that sound
Mhm.
about right?
It does.
Here at 6 o'clock. Anything else for board members? Hearing none, I'll make the motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Second. Motion made by Aishin, second by Probach. Any other conversations? All right, last chance. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Hold on. Let me stop this.